Hey everybody, Jamie Stokes from Royal LePage. Frank here. I just wanted to do a quick video on what's going on in the market. So yesterday we had some conversations with lawyers and other agents about the housing market. We were warned by lawyers to be collecting extra information in regards to mortgages when it comes to listings. As lawyers are seeing a rise in listings coming up, being sold, they're supposed to be closing, and there's multiple mortgages or issues with closings due to financing. So some properties will have multiple mortgages on them, and by the time the housing market's dropped a little bit here, and by the time closing comes around, there aren't enough funds between paying out all the mortgages, paying out closing costs, lawyers, realtors, things like this. There's not enough funds to actually close and pay out all parties. So if you're a realtor in the GTA, you need to make sure that you do your due diligence. Years ago, we used to always get mortgage verifications, and I feel like a lot of people, especially newer agents, aren't familiar with, when the housing market changes and you have to do the extra work to make sure that the property can close and that you actually get paid for it. So the housing market is, financing for people. A lot of people are struggling right now. Mortgage rates have gone up. I don't want to say I told you so, but I did. So here we are. We're expecting more mortgage rate hikes, and this can affect lines of credit and all kinds of things. So people are really struggling for the most part. Houses are staying on the market. I always talk about in my videos, I say that statistics are one thing, but the way that statistics are calculated a lot of the time, it's different when you read something up, in a magazine article or on the internet about where the housing market's at and what the statistics are. So the conversations that I had with other realtors the other day, they're all saying the same things. They've got we've got listings, but they're sitting here on the market and they're not moving. We're getting almost no showings, and a lot of properties aren't getting offers come offer day if there's offers being held. So make sure, if you're a realtor, that you do your due diligence, ask the questions, verify. People will unfortunately be dishonest when it comes to disclosing personal information such as financing and stuff like that. So make sure that you get all your I's dotted and your T's crossed, just to make sure that you aren't working. I know there's some cases recently where agents have put in some of their own money, for staging and painting and stuff like this, and the houses they're sitting there. They're not selling, they're not getting the offers, they're not getting the showings. The market's slowed down quite a bit, and of course, as I also mentioned in a lot of my videos, there are properties that will, regardless of the market, it could be location, it could be, something specific about the house, but there's always anomalies when it comes to statistics. So there could be a house, in one area versus another area. Everybody could be after the same house. It can get, 10 offers on it, meanwhile nothing else really is selling. So there's always anomalies that you have to take into consideration. You can't go by statistics entirely, but my experience right now working as a realtor is that the houses are not getting the showings, and they're not getting the offers right now. And this is the consensus between the agents that I've talked to about the current market. The mortgage rate increases have really affected the housing market. I know there's a lot of people that are struggling. There's a lot of people that are kind of being forced to sell, and banks don't want to take on, they don't want to take on listings. They're not interested in doing that. They're interested in getting paid, making their money, their interest, and, not putting in any extra work when it comes to making profits off of selling a house. So there will be cases where you'll be struggling to make your mortgage payments, or some people will be struggling to make their mortgage payments. It's more common right now than probably most people think. If you own a house and you're making mortgage payments, you probably know what I'm talking about. we're seeing right now where the interest, the mortgage payments would pay off the a percentage of the mortgage and a percentage of your interest as well. And we're seeing now that the payments that you're making, your mortgage payments, aren't covering necessarily your principal on your mortgage. It's just covering your interest because the payments are so high right now. It's causing a lot of problems for people, and the banks don't want to take on the responsibilities and the extra effort of hiring a realtor to come in and sell this stuff. So banks are, my conversations with the lawyers where banks are actually working with people, giving them a little bit of extra time when it comes to dealing with their finances and selling their house. You can sell your house, they'll give you maybe a few extra months or something like this to get your house sold. But it's not working out great right now because people are pretty tapped out. We had super low interest for a number of years, and people got in over their heads. And I've said in past videos that you have to kind of live within your means. Well, you definitely do. In case something like this does happen, people have low interest rates, they've got good credit, they'll run out and they'll spend all kinds of money. They'll buy a new car, they'll buy a house, they'll buy, name brand designer clothes, bags, things that they don't need, whatever it may be. Spend extra money on toys. And when the market changes, here you are, the payments were affordable back when you took out the loans and stuff and borrowed the money to purchase these items. And now that interest rates have gone up, you can no longer afford to. So there's going to be some deals out there to be had when it comes to people's toys. They're going to have to sell those first. And then it's still, it just kind of offsets the inevitable for a short period of time. So there's toys out there to be had for good deals. And, the housing market has definitely dropped. But we're not seeing the deals that everybody's expecting right now. The sellers, for the most part, they want the prices from, a year and a half ago, whatever, when housing was at its peak. And now they're not adjusted to what the current market value on properties is. And buyers, they're expecting, they're on different wavelengths here, because the sellers want excellent prices and the buyers want excellent prices. And there's still a good gap in there where their prices aren't aligning with what buyers' expectations and sellers' expectations are in the market right now. So if you're struggling financially, making your mortgage payments, you're not the only one. There's a lot of people out there. And my advice to you is not to run and hide, but to actually communicate with your bank. They're probably willing to work with you at least a little bit. You're not the only one in this position. A lot of people are right now. A lot of people are struggling. So the worst thing that you can do when you have debts outstanding is to run and hide, because they're just going to send collection companies after you. It's going to destroy your credit, and there's going to be a lot of issues in there. But don't stress. It's easy to say don't stress. I mean, I know everybody's stressed out right now. Things will go where they will. And, you may have to sell your house, and it may be a difficult decision and a difficult position to be in. But for the realtors out there, make sure that you double check mortgages, liens, anything that's outstanding. There's properties that have 2, 3 mortgages, sometimes more. There could be liens against the house for HVAC systems such as air conditioning, furnaces, hot water tanks, for anything. And the buyouts on them can be pretty extravagant sometimes, but make sure that there's enough funds here to close a deal that you take on. And for those of you who are in over your heads right now, really not any fault of your own. It's just the way that the market is right now. I feel bad for you. The dream is to own your own home, and you're paying so much in interest right now. I'm going to blame at least a portion of that on government spending, inflation. So now that we're in this position here, I wish everybody the best, and work with your bank, work with your mortgage company. whoever that may be. And you're not the only, like I said, you're not the only one in this position. I hope things get better for everybody out there, but that's currently where we're at. Is we're seeing a lot of people having multiple mortgages on their houses, and they're not able to actually close a deal once all the realtor work is done, and it heads off to the lawyers to get closed out and everything. The funds just aren't there. There's so much money owing on the house. You can't really sell it for what you bought it for a few years ago, and you're in a bad position. So I suspect, we've heard that there's supposed to be a couple more mortgage rate hikes, and this is only going to worsen the situation. But government spending is out of control, and here we are. This is one result of it. So talk to your financial institution, whoever they are, that has your mortgage, and speak to your realtor. Be honest with your realtor. And for the realtors out there, make sure that you do your due diligence and make sure that your files are complete. All aspects of financing, you actually look up the records and stuff like that to make sure that there's funds there to close. And that's pretty much all I have to say right now on the current housing market. Again, it's Jamie Stokes from Royal LePage. If you need to discuss selling your property or the current housing market, feel free to reach out. My phone number is 289-927-5991. Take care for now.